So we are reading today from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 5, text 27 to 40. So I'll read the text from 27 to 39, and then we will read text 40 together, like that. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I'll just read the translation since we have little time, very little time. So, text 27. Being thirsty one night, the king entered the arena of sacrifice, and when he saw all the Brahmanas lying down, he personally drank the sanctified water meant to be drunk by his wife. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yagyas performed by Brahmanas according to Vedic ritualistic ceremonies are so potent that the sanctifying of water by Vedic mantras can bring about the desired result. In this instance, the Brahmanas sanctified the water so that the king's wife might drink it in the yajna. But by providence, the king himself went there at night and, being thirsty, drank the water. When the Brahmanas got up from bed and saw the water pot empty, they inquired, who had done this work of drinking the water meant for begetting a child. When the Brahmanas came to understand that the king, inspired by the supreme controller, had drunk the water, they all exclaimed, "Alas, the power of providence is real power. No one can counteract the power of the Supreme." In this way, they offered their respectful obeisances unto the Lord. Thereafter, in due course of time, a son with all the good symptoms of a powerful king came forth from the lower side of King Yavanashwa's abdomen. The baby cried so much for breast milk that all the Brahmanas were very unhappy. "Who will take care of this baby?" they said. Then Indra, who was worshipped in the yajna, came and solaced the baby. "Do not cry," Indra said. Then Indra put his index finger in the baby's mouth and said, "You may drink me." Because Yavanashwa, the father of the baby, was blessed by the Brahmanas, he did not fall a victim to death. After this incident, he performed severe austerities and achieved perfection in that very spot. Mandhata, the son of Yavanashwa, was the cause of fear for Ravan and other thieves and rogues who caused anxiety. O King Parikshit, because they feared him, the son of Yavanashwa was known as Trashadasyu. This name was given by King Indra. By the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the son of Yavanashwa was so powerful that when he became emperor, he ruled the entire world consisting of the 7 islands without any second ruler. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is not different from the auspicious respects of great sacrifices, such as the ingredients of the sacrifice, the chanting of the Vedic hymns, the regulative principles, the performer, the priests, the result of sacrifice, the arena of sacrifice, and the time of sacrifice. Knowing the principles of self-realization, Mandhata worshipped that transcendently situated Supreme Soul, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, who comprises all the demigods. He also gave immense charity to the Brahmanas, and thus he performed yajna to worship the Lord. All places from where the sun rises on the horizon, shining brilliantly, to where the sun sets, are known as the possession of the celebrated Mandata, son of Yavanashva. Mandata begot 3 sons in the womb of Bindumati, the daughter of Sasha Bindu. These sons were Purukutsa, Ambarisha, and Muchu Kunda, the great mystic yogi. These 3 brothers had 50 sisters who all accepted the great sage Saubhari as their husband. And 39 and 40 are together. Yeah, both are on the board. Okay. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Saubhari Rishi was engaged in austerity deep in the water of river Yamuna when he saw a pair of fish engaged in sexual affairs. Thus he perceived the pleasure of sex life, and induced by this desire, he went to King Mandhata and begged for one of the king's daughters. In response to this request, the king said, "O Brahman, any of my daughters may accept any husband according to her personal selection." Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This is the beginning of the story of Saubhari Rishi. According to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Mandhata was the king of Mathura, and Saubhari Rishi was engaged in austerity while submerged deep within river Yamuna. When the Rishi felt sexual desire, he emerged from the water and went to King Mandhata to ask that one of the king's daughters become his wife. Om Ajnanati Kitimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapatantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we can see here that Prabhupada, these verses cover quite a few points. The first thing is the power of the Brahmanical Tejas, the power that the Brahmanas have by following austerities and the Vedic principles as per the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That gives them powers to change the course of someone's life. Now here is a king, King Yavanashva, and he has no children, even though he has 100 wives. And he can't beget any child. So he enters into the forest. He's thinking, that's it, I'm going to go. But the Varnashram Dharma was followed in such a way that the Brahmanas took responsibility upon themselves. If a king is not there, then there'll be chaos. All the, rogues and thieves, they'll take over. So they take upon the responsibility and they say, we'll perform a yajna by which you will beget a son. And sure enough, they perform that yajna and keep the water. But then we can know that by the help of even the Brahmanas with Brahma Tejas, everything is limited according to the unlimited, the desire of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He still reigns supreme. We may do anything and everything, but still we will fall short because he is unlimited. So by his will then, King Yavanashva himself drinks that water. And, today we won't be able to believe because we don't see such things. But Yavanashva becomes pregnant and he gives birth from the right side of his abdomen. So we can see the Brahmanical powers are so, strong. And being a king, Kshatriya, who are very proud, usually. Dishonor is worse than death for a Kshatriya. But still, this is a big dishonor to be pregnant and giving birth to a child. But by Brahmanical, again, support, it is said that he doesn't commit suicide or he doesn't give up. He performs his duty. He remains fixed in his duty to his kingdom and to his people, like that. So he does his duties, the Brahmanas are doing their duty. So everyone is doing their duty, and the kingdom goes on very nicely. And what to speak of that? Whatever we think of the yajna, the son who is born is Mandata. Mandata is one of the most powerful kings in the Raghuvansh dynasty in which Lord Ram was born. So this king Mandata conquered all the world. All the world. And it is mentioned here that he was engaged in yajnic sacrifices to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu. Yajnarthe karma anyatra loko yam karma bandhana. So he was performing these yajnas to please the Lord so that he won't be bound by material desires. But, what happens to King Mandata, which is not given here, but which is covered in other sections, we'll just reflect on that. Jai Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki Jai. Shri Shri Sita Ma Ramji Lakshmanji Hanumanji ki Jai. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So King Mandata, one day after he had thought he had conquered the whole world, he was so powerful, he wanted to conquer the heavenly planets. So he went to Indrapuri and he challenged Lord Indra. He said, I want to fight you because I want your heavenly kingdom. So I want your heavenly kingdom. And Indra said, O king, you're forgetting that you haven't conquered the whole of the earth. So he said, who's left? So he says, there's a king, a demon king named Lavanasur. And he is the king of Madhuvan, which is present-day Mathura. He is the king of Madhuvan. You haven't conquered him. He is still, if you go and see there, he is still ruling and killing. In your own kingdom, he's killing human beings and eating them. So this Lavanasur, he was born of a demon Madhu. But his father, King Madhu, who was also a demon, he was very powerful because he used to worship the Brahmanas, look after them. And he also supported the demigods. So he never fought against them. So because of this peace-loving king, Madhu had a lot of powers. And through that, he pleased Lord Shiva, who gave him an expansion of his own trident. And this trident was very powerful. And everyone was afraid of this trident. And therefore no one attacked Madhuvan at that time. And then when King Madhu saw that he had this demon-like sin like Lavanasur, who used to play with his playmates, and whenever he got angry, he used to kill them and eat them. That was his job. So when he saw that, he entered the forest and then he entered the ocean and killed himself out of shame that I have given birth to such a son. And Lavanasur then became king and he inherited the trident and he knew the power. And with it, he killed everyone who attacked him. Such was the power. And then, Mandata came to challenge. And unfortunately, King Mandata did not know about the power of the trident or even the existence of the trident. He was also intoxicated by his power. So he came to attack and he said, Lavanasur, I want to have a battle with you. So Lavanasur went and got his trident and he came out of his city, which was well fortified, and he came alone. And Mandata with all his troops were there. And he was saying, what is this mad guy doing? He's coming all alone on his chariot. We can kill him. So then, Lavanasur said, I'll give you the right of first attack. You attack me first. And Mandata was surprised, but he attacked. And then, with his trident, Lavanasur not only defeated the army of Mandata, but killed him. So we can see such great king. He was just killed by Lavanasur. And then Lavanasur ruled. But then the dynasty of Lord Ram came. And one day when Ram had conquered Lanka and he came back to Ayodhya, then people started telling him that this Lavanasur is there. He is infallible, it seems. No one can kill him. So, we, O king, we need relief from this king. And Lord Ram said, I will kill him. But then Bharat said, no, you have already, come back from this 14 years of, exile, and then you killed Ravan. Let me do it as a service. But then Shatrughna says, I am the youngest, so I should have, I should also have the say. Bharat was serving you while you were away, O Lord Ram. He was serving, looking after the kingdom. So please give me this service to go and fight Lavanasur. So Lord Ram says, okay. Lord Ram gives that. He then has a yajna to crown Shatrughna, the king of Madhupuri. They already crown him the king of Madhupuri. And then Lord Ram, he gives Shatrughna an arrow. And he says that this has been in the Ishwaku dynasty because Lord Vishnu, it is coming from Lord Vishnu. He has personally given it to our dynasty. And we have been worshipping it always. Lord Vishnu killed Madhu and Kaitaba, the two demons, by this arrow. And this I am giving it to you. But because this arrow is very dangerous, a lot of beings might be killed by its use. Therefore, use it only when your life is in danger. And when you think that you can't kill Lavanasur, he has an upper power and you are almost about to die. So he says, okay. And Shatrughna takes that from Lord Ram. And with his blessings, he goes and meets Lavanasur. Shatrughna, Lord Ram has already told him, sage Vashishta and everyone, they advise Shatrughna. Lavanasur has that trident. So be careful. Don't challenge him. Challenge him when he comes out of the city. He usually goes to hunt. At night, he goes to hunt in the forest for human beings and all other animals to eat them. So at that time, when he goes alone, when he comes out of the city, stop him there. And don't allow him to go back into the city, because the trident is kept in his palace. So Shatrughna knows that. So he lays in wait with his army. And as soon as Lavanasur has left the gate, then Shatrughna challenges him. And Lavanasur said, you are a mere boy, I can't fight with a boy. But then I don't have my arms, so let me go and get my arms. Shatrughna says, I can see you have got arms. So you're just making excuses. If you're a real Kshatriya, fight me. So Lavanasur starts the fight. And then they fight. And sure enough, then afterwards when Lavanasur sees that Shatrughna has powers, he sends some arrows which are very lethal. And from there, he rains fire which are about to kill Shatrughna. Shatrughna dodges them, but he is not able to shoot any arrows. And he finds himself incapable. And he thinks now is the time to use that astra which had killed Madhu and Kaitaba, which was used by Lord Vishnu. So, saying the mantra, he releases that arrow and it hits Lavanasur and kills him. So we can see one of the forefathers of the dynasty, he is killed by it, and then one of his great, I don't know how great grandchild, kills him back. But the point of the story we see, and even now we are coming into Saubhari Munis, the thing is that we have had King Mandata rule the whole world. Today those heroes, our heroes, can be compared to Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Google's Larry Page and, Sergey Brin and Amazon's Jeff Bezos. All these guys are our heroes. But what are they in connection to, Mandata, who ruled the whole world, who could go to the heavenly planets at will? He could go there at will and try to conquer Indra. And even he loses. So, our heroes are nothing. And if you see the list of the world's richest and the more powerful, they change so fast these days. Yeah, at least in the olden days, Rockefeller, several generations used to do that. But now, even the children don't want to run the empires because they think it's too much. So we can see that the empires are very short-lived, and these people, they are tired. I know, a billionaire who has a Gulfstream 650, and he thinks it's a bondage for him. And we might think, oh my God, he flies in it, it must be so nice. But for him, it's a bondage because regularly flying in it, he thinks it's useless. So, the scriptures time and time again, they advise us to be in a constitutional position. Yeah? Mukti hitva anyatha rupam sarupena vyavastiti. That real liberation is not to go to the heavenly planets, to Siddhaloka, to Satyaloka, or wherever in these 14 planetary systems. It is anywhere we may be, to be situated in that position where we are in our constitutional position. The constitutional position is to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead in whatever capacity we may be. We can see that in the spiritual world, everyone is a desire tree. Why? Because everyone just follows the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is in his original position. And therefore in the spiritual world, everyone can get anything they wish. They are a desire tree. But in the material world, we all think, I want to do my way. Yeah, everyone wants to do his way. And look at the state of the material world. It is getting worse and worse and worse. So the only shelter is that constitutional position, which is in relation to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Oh Lord, I am the servant of your infinite servants. And even though I don't have much education, much intelligence, even though I am fallen in this material world, in whatever way I can, I lift that one flower or one leaf, little water or whatever, and offer it to you with whatever pure consciousness I can muster. And that's what the Lord requires, really, But any other position apart from that is a position of the false ego. And that false ego has no limits. I want to be the best businessman, I want to be the best looking person, I want to be the most famous, I want to be pious, I want to be the best, nicest person. Even that can be from the view of the false ego. Anything apart from that, that I am no one, but you have given me this position, you have created me. I don't know, we don't know who has created us or, why we were created. But we know someone knows from the scriptures, and that is God, Krishna. So because I've learned from the scriptures so in some way, in my own little corner in this world, I plan to serve you, with whatever consciousness I can muster, just for the sake of getting your mercy. That's all. And once Krishna's mercy, if it falls on anyone, that person's life is successful. So anything apart from that is in the realm of the false ego. And in the false ego, there are powerful businessmen, powerful kings like Mandata, Yavanashva, powerful brahmanas who can do great yogic sacrifices. But where are they? They all meet their death because the false ego catches them sooner or later and finishes them off. And how many people know about Mandata? How many people remember Mandata? The same way, one day, no matter who we are, we won't even be remembered by our own great-grandchildren or whoever they are. Because how many of us know the names of our great-grandfather or seen them or whatever? So that is the shelter. And we can see Saubhari Muni. He was trying to take shelter of that. But even underneath the ocean, having these yogic powers, Maya, through the false ego and the time factor, Krishna in the form of time, at the right time, he finishes of Sabari Muni's this thing, because he wasn't really situated in that position. And then, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he comes us just to remind us that, go back to that position. The Shikshastakam verse, especially the third verse, Tranadapi Sunichevna Tarori Vasaishnana Manina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadar. Because in that position we will be challenged. The false ego will be challenged. And sooner or later, if the false ego is challenged, and if a reaction is there, naturally it will lead to, But we may fall many times, whatever times. That may happen. But the thing is, no matter how many times we fall, no matter how fallen we are, no matter who we are, if we come back again to the shelter of this constitutional position, to just know that in whatever way I can serve the Lord, if I can serve Him, then that will beget me the mercy of the Lord and the perfection of life. Like that. So I'll stop there. Any questions, comments?